Yo, what is going on, everybody? You got Tone here, coach of your Miami Malamarlins, and as you can see, this video is a little bit different and should not come as a surprise to some of you people. But as you can tell on by the screen, the layout and all that stuff, a certain someone decided to come back to a certain league. So to just break it down very briefly, so the IBL was looking for a replacement coach. They were asking around about replacements, and I threw my name in the hat again, and I was like, hey, if you need a replacement, I can fill in, whatever the case may be. And it just so happens they gave the spot to me. So once again, I am back in the IBL for Season 5. I thought my run would be over after Season 4 ended. For those of you who don't know what happened in Season 4, I felt like I had a great team. That was a very, very solid roster I put together coming in. And I finished that season 9-3. Number 1 seed in the conference and all that stuff. And I ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs due to some, I don't want to say unfortunate hacks, but there's stuff like that happens. So that was in the past, and then I was going to put that behind me, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take a step back, focus on some other leagues, focus on other content. I know it's been a little bit hectic between my uploads and whatnot. School and other in real life commitments have like pushed back my commitments to trying to upload these videos. And I don't really like doing any update videos or anything of the sort, so I just try to like go at my own pace. And here we are back in the IBL for season number 5. So let's just run through this team very, very quick. So the team I inherited came from MyTurkeySub, coach of the Chicago Cubs. He had to step away for some personal issues, so I took over his team. And the team I inherited is on the top right of your screen, where you see Mega Gallade, Rotom Wash, Blacephalon, Sylveon, Celebi, Haxorus with Z moves, Sneasel with Z moves, and Braviary. So he drafted a very, very offensive squad with like some bulky pivots, but he does have a lot of glaring issues with this draft, which I just did not like at all when it came to, especially a team that only has 8 Mons on it. I really, really hate, if I'm going to use a team with 8 Pokemon, I have to have certain components on that team to make it work. For starters, I like to have at least 2 Stealth Rockers. This team that I inherited only had 1, that was Celebi. 2, and pretty much a big no-no in terms of when it comes to draft league teams, this team has absolutely no electric immunity whatsoever. There is no ground type on this team, and I cannot understand how a team this limited with 8 Pokemon has no electric resist whatsoever. I mean, immunity. There's resist in Celebi and Haxorus, but having nothing to block Volt Switch is a big no-no in my book. That is absolutely unacceptable with this draft. And there were some other like glaring issues, especially considering it's more of an offensive team. I'm not the type of person that likes to use heavy offense. I'm more of a balanced, bulky offense sort of builder and battler. I build with that concept in mind. So with that being the case, I was allowed to change up this team, and boy, did I change it. In fact, this team was changed so much, I ended up scrapping pretty much the entire roster. As you can see by the team that you see on your screen, I ended up keeping at least 2 of those Pokemon, being the Mega Gallade and the Sylveon, and I scrapped the rest. So, with that out of the way, using what was left in free agency, the new team I picked up looks something like this. So that is the new squad with Mega Gallade, Serperior, Thundurus Therian, Volcarona with Z moves, Sylveon, Bronzong, Drapion, and Seismitoad. This pretty much covers most of what I was looking for in a team if I had to go the 8 Pokemon route. Superior covers the grass type. It gives me a ground resist, it gives me something faster than base 110s, and it gives me a defogger. So that's pretty much it for Superior. Then Thunderous Therian, a Pokemon in which I wanted to use again since I last had it in IBL Season 3. That thing just put in so much work for me. And the fact that I have it again, the only difference is I don't have Z-moves, I don't have access to Z-moves, but Thunderous Therian isn't really a mon that's desperate to be run with Z-moves, so more or less this gave me a ground immunity, and this more importantly gave me an electric immunity with Volt Absorb, which the previous team did not have. I can also run Defog on this if I have to as well, and considering the fact that I picked up Volcarona on this team, I tried to do my best in trying to make Mega Gallade shine as much as I possibly could. I wasn't trying to build solely around Mega Gallade, but that's just how the team, I tried to have at least some form of aspect to make Mega Gallade a little bit more difficult to deal with for my opponent. Volcarona is one of those things because Mega Gallade does hate bulky psychics. Volcarona can break through bulky psychics with Stab Bug Buzz. Do have to be careful though for some specific bulky psychics like Necrozma with access to Power Gem or any other rock coverage that can really hinder Volcarona. Of course, the 4x Stealth Rock weakness is also an issue, but I do have Superior and Thunderous Therian for defog support if I want to go that route. And then for the last three Pokemon, I kept Sylveon because there really wasn't any other Fairy type in the free agent pool that I actually wanted to use alongside Mega Gallade, so I decided to keep Sylveon for the time being until something else, some other fairy that I prefer would drop by one of the other coaches, so there's that possibility. And then for the last three mods, the previous team had no steel type either, which kind of blows. I figured that I needed to get a bulky steel type, especially running with Mega Gallade. Having something to switch into flying attacks is also very nice. And then there was Bronzong, which was available. So nice, cheap, bulky steel type Pokemon gives me my Stealth Rocker. I do have double Psychics on this team, but I don't think it's going to hinder me that much as far as I'm concerned. And then having a good strong dark type is also very nice for Mega Gallade to weaken said bulky psychic types, and the only one available to me was Drapion. Used Drapion in the past, and it also gives me access to Toxic Spikes, a grounded poison type, so I have a Toxic Spike Absorber, Stab Knockoff, I have a Psychic Check, so I have a lot of options in that regard. And then lastly, I wanted to have a ground type. I needed a bulky ground type on this draft so I don't get Volt switched on like the previous team did, and luckily for me, Seismitoad was available in free agency, so I grabbed that as my last option. It gives me another Stealth Rocker, but more importantly, like I mentioned, does give me that electric immunity. It gives me a bulky ground type, it gives me a bulky water type, and a water immunity on top of that. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, this is the 8 Pokemon I'm going to be rocking with for the next couple of weeks. And our first battle in our return to the IBL Season 5 is none other than Brendan, aka Dark Devil 26, the commissioner of the IBL, coach of the Marlboro Mudsdales. So I'm taking over this team, and we're not off to a good start. I'm taking over this team and we're 0-3. So not a good start, especially considering the last game was actually a devastating loss. Like, we just got blown back by Zardex. But on top of that, it's going to be a very, very difficult climb if we're going to have any chance of making the playoffs. So I'm just going to try to take this. I'm not going to try to take it too seriously, but at the same time, I also want to win some games to have this new roster, try to make the most of that situation. So yeah, so let's run right into the matchup here as my opponent, Dark Devil 26, his team consisting of the Garchomp with Z-moves, Mega Diancie, Milotic, Scizor, Hitmonchan, Roserade, Mismagius, Zoroark, Rotom Fan, and Heatmore with Z-moves. So overall, Brendan has a very balanced team as far as I'm concerned. Some big threats to my roster. Garchomp can be a bit of a problem here, as my only real resistance is the Bronzong, so I have to be wary about trying to keep that thing alive as much as I can. Mega Dancey can also be a big threat, considering that I don't really have much other than Bronzong. I want to switch in on either a Power Gem or a Diamond Storm plus a Moonblast. And with Bronzong being immune to Earth Power thanks to Levitate, this is pretty much going to be my dedicated switch-in to the Mega Dancey. And then my Milotic can be a bit annoying. Unlike the last time I played on my Milotic, I do feel a lot better offensively speaking in terms of dealing with it. But the one mon that I know for a fact is going to be a big issue for one of my mons, if not most of my team that I brought. It's definitely going to be that Heatmore. Heatmore can single-handedly wall, it essentially walls 2/3 of my team that I'm bringing here, which is pretty crazy, but it's understandable that he would want to bring Heatmore because I have a Volcarona, and unless I carry Hidden Power Ground, which, spoilers, I'm not, I can't do much to Heatmore at all. So the idea with this team is to try to weaken his team to the point where I can potentially win with either my Mega Gallade set, as you see here, or try to win with my Volcarona. Well, that's going to be a lot more harder considering the amount of stuff he has on his team that can prevent my Volcarona from sweeping him is tremendous. Like, before Quiver Dance, Garchomp outspeeds him, Stone Edge. Mega Dancey outspeeds Volcarona without a Quiver Dance, Power Gem, or Diamond Storm. There's some other options too, like Assault Vest, Hitmonchan with Stone Edge. Heatmore as the main response to Volcarona with Flash Fire, resist Bug Buzz. Can easily run Assault Vest against my team, does get access to Rock Slide if I recall correctly. Mismagius gets access to Power Gem. Rose Raid can easily be Hidden Power Rock with Technician. And Rotom Fan can be like Air Slash or whatnot. So as you can tell, like, you see I'm bringing the Volcarona, and you're probably wondering why am I bringing Volcarona considering all this stuff that he has that can stop Volcarona from sweeping. There's still a slim chance I can potentially set up with Volcarona, but the opportunities are going to be few and far in between. So if anything, I'm probably not going to be able to try to set up with Volcarona at all during this matchup. I figured it would probably be a waste of time in that situation. So with that all being said, let's just jump right into the team that I built for this battle. So first off, we have our Mega Gallade rocking Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Leaf Blade. This pretty much hits his entire team at least neutrally. Just running down the list: Garchomp, Ice Punch, Mega Dancey, Drain Punch. Leaf Blade, excuse me. Milotic, Leaf Blade, Scizor, Drain Punch, Hitmonchan, Drain Punch, Rose Raid, Ice Punch, Mismagius, Leaf Blade is stronger, so yeah. Zoroark, Drain Punch, Rotom Fan, Ice Punch, Heatmore, Drain Punch. So it hits his entire team neutrally. As for my investment, I'm not running max attack on this Gallade. I figured that some little added bulk would be a bit helpful. I am running max speed Jolly to speed tie with Mega Dancey. The attack investment on my Mega Gallade guarantees that Leaf Blade will always 2-hit KO a max HP, max defense, non-Flame Orb Milotic with Leaf Blade. And the rest is just thrown into HP for a bit more added bulk, so I can take stuff like Shadow Balls from the Mismagius and stuff like that. So, moving on now to the next Pokemon, we have our Sylveon here, Bianca with Leftovers, Wish, Protect, Hyper Voice, and Hidden Power Fire with max HP, max defense. This is pretty much going to be my check to the Garchomp, as I don't really have anything else that wants to switch in on an Outrage plus an Earthquake bar the Bronzong, but my Bronzong's job in this game is to deal with Mega Dancey. So, I'm bringing my Sylveon specifically to deal with the, try to deal with the Garchomp. I did go back and forth a bit with the last moveset between Hidden Power Fire and Baton Pass. Baton Pass would just be nice for getting momentum on stuff like Rose Raid, get momentum on stuff like Scizor, and pivot out into my Volcarona. I can pivot out into my Gallade, Superior, wherever the situation calls for, and then adjust my plan accordingly. But this is just my way of just, like I said, trying to check the Garchomp. And his most of his physical attackers outright. So that is my Sylveon set. Then next up we have the Volcarona here, rocking Fire MZ, Quiver Dance, Bug Buzz, Fire Blast, Giga Drain. It was pretty much a toss-up between hitting my low tick harder or trying to like do damage to heat more. So I considered Hidden Power Ground for the for heat more and also for the Mega Diancie. But it pretty much came down to 50-50 about what do I want to hit harder, whether it be the my low tick or the heat more and Mega Diancie. I ultimately decided on my low tick because of the fact that even though most of my team is walled hard by heat more, I figured I'd try to cover the most threatening things. Not saying that heat more is not a threat in this matchup, but I just want to make sure I had like my low tick covered, because my low tick can take a bug buzz, and the fact that I'm not running Roost on my Volcarona means that it's worn down a lot more easily if he gets up Stealth Rock on this team, because of the fact that Volcarona does lose half its HP, and I figured having something to get some health back would be a lot more beneficial than running Hidden Power Ground, although Giga Drain also doubles as hitting the Mega Diancie as well, so there is that to take into consideration here. So EV spread, just running max special attack, enough speed to outspeed, if I recall correctly, it's outspeeds Rose Raid, and potential Scarf Rose Raid after +1, and the rest I just threw into HP to give us some added bulk, so nothing fancy about that. Then next up we have our Superior, rocking Leftovers with Defog, Leafstorm, Hidden Power Fire, and Glare. I pretty much went back and forth with this one between HP Fire for the Scizor and HP Ground for the Heatmore. Like, I easily could have run HP Ground, but I just wanted to have all my bases covered at the very least. And even without HP Ground, if I'm able to get up at +2, it still does a good amount of damage to the Heatmore. If I'm able to get some chip damage off on Heatmore that way, then we have Defog for hazard removal, and then we have our last move as Glare. Originally had Dragon Pulse, but changed it out for Glare, as really the only mon I was hitting with Dragon Pulse on my Superior was the Rotom Fan, which I didn't really think was going to come in this game. It could potentially, but it did kind of struggle against Side Potato without bringing like Hidden Power Grass, which is a very, very high possibility. But outside of that, it wasn't really breaking through much on his team, and outside of getting him momentum and being walled by Thundy without running like Toxic, it'd be a lot harder for him to try to justify bringing Rotom Fan in that situation. So this is going to be my offensive check to stuff like Mega Diancie, Non-Scarf Garchomp, stuff along those lines. So running max special attack, enough speed for his Mega Diancie, and the rest I just threw into HP for some added bulk. Then next up we have our specially defensive Bronzong with Leftovers, with Stealth Rock, Toxic, Gyro Ball, and Psychic. Pretty much went back and forth with the move set on this Bronzong. I kind of wanted to bring Hidden Power Fire for the Scizor, but I figured I had enough coverage to deal with Scizor, outside like bulky SD variants or curse variants, whatever the case may be. Toxic was just nice to like catch to my low tick, which can eat up hits from my Bronzong for days. And then of course Stealth Rock is just nice to where it chipped away at his Garchomp, Mega Diancie, most of his Stealth Rock weak mons, and I figured it's nice because to run Stealth Rock on Bronzong, since it's a mon that can deal or check Mega Diancie very, very well on my team. And nothing really much I'll say about that, just a fully specially defensive spread here designed to take any hit from Mega Diancie and any of his other special attackers, stuff like Skull from my Lotic, etc. And then lastly we have our Mod Choice Scarf Thunderous Therian with Thunderbolt U-Turn, Hidden Power Ice, and Psychic with max special attack Modest with enough speed for the Rose Raid or the Rotom Fan, one of those two. Pretty positive it's the Rose Raid, and then the rest I just threw in to give it some added bulk. So Thunderous's job is to try to revenge kill stuff like Non-Scarf, Garchomp, Mega Diancie. I can revenge kill if it's weakened enough with a Thunderbolt. U-Turn obviously for momentum. If he decides to go hard Garchomp, Hidden Power Ice hits the Garchomp. Psychic is there for the Rose Raid, mainly for that Rose Raid. So yeah, that is going to be the team builder for this battle. So Sorry about that. So with that all being said, let's just jump right into the battle and see how we do in our first week back in the IBL. So let's switch right on over. And here we have the battle against the whoops, there we go. Anyway, here we have the battle of IBL Season 5, Week number 4 against Brendan and his Marlboro Mudsdales. And as you see, the team he decided to bring, he brought the Rose Raid, Miss Mages, Milotic, Heatmore, Mega Dante, and the Garchomp. So, first and foremost, there's no Scizor, which means that I obviously could have brought like Hidden Power Ground on my Superior. That would have been a lot nicer in this matchup, to be perfectly honest. Not even Hidden Power Ground. Hidden Power or anything. HP Fire is still good for the Rose Raid, so I guess there's that. But in any case, the he pretty much more or less brought more what I was expecting. I was honestly expecting that Heatmore to come too, because Volcarona can potentially sweep his team, but as I said before, just looking at the matchup, it just looks like Brendan's team is not going to give my Volcarona any opportunity whatsoever to try to sweep or try to get up a Quiver Dance, because he has so many options in which to do that. Like Rose Raid could be Scarf with like Technician, Hidden Power Rock, Miss Mages can be Power Gem, Milotic can have Haze, Heatmore is always a counter to non-HP ground variants, and even then he could be like Assault Vest. Mega Dante outspeeds out of Quiver Dance, and potential Scarf Garchomp I'm assuming is a possibility to Revenge Kill +1 Volcarona as well. So in terms of a lead matchup, I led off with my Superior mainly because of the fact that I thought he would try to lead off with his Diancie to try to get the Mega off and maybe get up his Rocks or something. Garchomp is also a possibility for being a Stealth Rocker too, but I felt like the safest play was Superior, more or less. I also got to lead with Bronzong, just in case it with Diancie too, but I didn't want to go hard Bronzong. I felt like keeping it in the back a little bit longer, just because it's still nice against the Mega Dante, even though the switch in the Bronzong is going to be very, very obvious. So with all that being said and done, let's just jump right on into the match and see how we fared in this battle. So as you can see, we are going to be challenged by Pokemon Brendan. Have fun, my friends. So, like I said, I'll lead off with my Superior here, as he does lead off with the Masquerade, the Rose Raid. So that's not a good lead matchup for me. So I'm going to switch out here. I'm going to go directly out into my Bronzong here, because don't want to take like a Sludge Bomb and whatnot. He makes a good play turn 1 and clicks Shadow Ball, and that's going to do a good chunk of damage. Also gets a Spadef drop on my Bronzong. And at this point, I'm like, okay, what do I value more? Getting damage off on this Rose Raid or going for my Stealth Rock? So to go for another Shadow Ball here, I want to live. I'm going to get my Rocks up here, because this is pretty much going to be my only opportunity to get up Stealth Rock in this game. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is I'm going to be forced to let my Bronzong go down here, which was my dedicated switch in to Mega Dante. But as long as I have my Superior in the back, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So Bronzong's going to go down here to the Shadow Ball here. I'm going to go out into my Thundurus. Fourth thing out, I'm going to go for a Psychic, as he makes the switch out into his Milotic here. Probably expecting like a I don't know if he was like hard predicting or whatnot, but I go for Psychic here, and now I'm going to switch out. Since I'm choice locked into Psychic here, I'm going to go out to my Sylveon. He reveals Mirror Coat. So he was pretty much expecting me to stay in here. He must have had like, I'm assuming the way he went for Mirror Coat, he was either Assault Vest or Wakan Berry, since I didn't see Flame Orb activate. So he's going to make a hard switch back into Rose Raid on my Sylveon. I'm going to go for a Wish. He goes for Sludge Bomb. He gets the Poison. And I'm going to click Hidden Power Fire on the Rose Raid. Get some damage off on the Rose Raid as I get back to nearly 85%, 90%, something like that. But the poison damage is going to rack up here. I know he's going to click Sludge Bomb again because I lost my poison immunity in the Bronzong. He's going to go for the Sludge Bomb, almost knocked me out. I get some damage off from the Rose Ray, so we're going to now die to the poison from the Rose Ray. So Rose Ray already has 2 kills for Brendan on his team, and we're already down 6-4, but that's not going to go back out into my Thunderous. I'm just going to click the safe U-turn, and we are going to knock out the Rose Ray here with the U-turn. So I'm going to get some momentum here. I'm going to go out into my Gallade. And he is going to go out into his Miss Magus here. So the only reason why he went Miss Magus is he's going to go for Will-O-Wisp here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the switch out into my Superior. I also could have went hard Volcarona at this point because there was no rocks up. But I figured I wanted to at least try to get damage off on this Miss Magus somehow. And I didn't want to go hard Volcarona for him predicting me to go Volk, and then he goes for Power Gem. So I'm going to fire off a LeafStorm here as the obvious Heatmore is obvious. I do get some damage off, which is nice because I needed Heatmore weakened or eliminated or weakened to the point where my Volcarona can just click Bug Buzz at some point afterwards. So I'm going to stay in here, be aggressive, go for a +2 LeafStorm here. It's not going to knock out the Superior. He's going to knock out my Superior with the Flamethrower here. So it may seem like a really weird play here to let my Superior go down, because now Mega Dancing is more of a threat. But it does let me get back into my Thunders. I'm going to click Psychic here. We're going to pick off the Heatmore with the Psychic, take out the Heatmore. So that's already 2 kills for Thunderous. In comes the Milotic one more time. So I'm choice locking the Psychic. Psychic won't kill at this range, so I'm going to go out into my my Mega Gallade, as he is going to go for the Recover. So he is not Assault Vest. So this leads me to believe he's more of a Wakan Berry on his Milotic. So I'm going to Mega Evolve my Gallade. I'm just going to click Leaf Blade. There was literally no point in trying to set up here because there was, like, at +1 I don't knock him out with a Leaf Blade. I get a crit there, which kind of sucks because he goes for Scald here. And luckily for me, there is no burn. I'm going to click Leaf Blade again, and we're going to take out the Milotic here. So Mega Gallade picking up its first kill in the match, taking out the Milotic. In comes the Miss Magus again. Now, some may deem it as a misplay. I'm going to stay in here, and I'm going to go click Leaf Blade here instead of making the read into Volcarona. So he goes for Will-O-Wisp. He's going to burn my Gallade. He also could have missed too, which would suck. But it's not like I really need HP at this point on my Gallade. And there's also the fact that I could have also lost a speed tie against the Mega Diancie. So I'm going to let him burn me. We're going to drop the Miss Magus to the next Leaf Blade. In comes the Garchomp. I didn't want to go hard into my Thunder, so let's see, like, goes for Outrage. He's going to click EQ here. He goes faster, so it's guaranteed he is Choice Scarf. So my Mega Gallade is going to drop to the EQ. So this gives me a free switch into my Thunderous. I am just going to click Psychic here. And here he is going to stay in and let me get damage off on the Garchomp with Psychic, which was kind of confusing. I think he said afterwards he misclicked as he wanted to do this play, was to go hard out into his Diancie here. Takes a Stealth Rock damage. I'm going to just keep clicking Psychic repeatedly. Bring him down to about half. Now, I did a calc before I made this play. I'm going to stay in, click Psychic. It's a roll for me to kill the Mega Diancie. It's like 44 to 53%. And we get a crit. So, yeah. So, I won't even know if it's going to come into effect now. So, now he's going to go into his Garchomp. I'm going to make the play, sack off. I'm going to make a hard read into my Volcarona because I want to lock myself in the Hidden Power Ice if possible, as he is going to reveal a Stone Edge on the Garchomp here. Take out my Volcarona, and crit didn't matter. And now it pretty much just comes down to a Stone Edge hitting my Thunderous, and we are going to lose the game or not, because he misses Stone Edge. I click Hidden Power Ice, and the Garchomp's going to drop. So yeah, this was a very, very unwelcome return. Well, not really unwelcome. It wasn't the way I wanted the game to end at this point, because it came down to some very, very, very unfortunate late hacks that benefited me. The Psychic crit on the Mega Diancie. Like, if I didn't get that crit and I got a low roll, I definitely lost the game, because he would just click Power Gem, took out my Thunderous, Power Gem, took out my Volcarona. I lost the game 2-0 at that point. But the crit, and then on top of that, there was him staying in on his Garchomp, going for EQ, which also was kind of a weird play. But I think he said afterwards that was a misclick. He meant to go hard Yancey that turn. So yeah, it wasn't the best game, to be perfectly honest. Like, I don't want to win with hacks. I don't want hacks to play a factor in these games. But it's Pokemon. That's pretty much how things go. And yeah. So yeah, we pick up our first win. Not the way I wanted to pick up my first win of the IBL season, but it's a win nonetheless. Thunderous Therian coming in, picking up 4 kills in this match, and Gallade picking up the other 2 kills. Not really much else to say about this. It was a good game until the end there. Like I said, you can only control what you can. The second crit on the Mega Diancie, I felt it mattered because there was no way to know now if that was going to be a roll. It was a roll, but who would have known if I would have gotten it or not? Like I was confident. Like I was fine losing this game because the main issue was me trying to keep it close, especially with how the early game went for me, losing my Sylveon and my Bronzong, my 2 defensive mons in this battle so early on. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it from me, guys. Good game to Brendan as always. His links and stuff will be in the description down below. Be sure to check him out. All the other coaches in the IBL as well. We are now 1-3. We are going to take on our good buddy Techno Strike for week 5 of the IBL. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that as much as I am. And that's going to be it from me, guys. Till the next time, this is Tone, signing out for now. Peace out.